Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Today's big news is that the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan may be on his way out, just like many other prime ministers before him in Pakistan. But before we go deeper into this news, there are some important announcements which are extremely useful for all of you. First, BYJU'S IAS is bringing to you the National Scholarship Test, which gives you a chance to win up to 90% scholarships. These online tests will be held on the 3rd of April at 11 a.m. The link to register for this test is given in the description of the video. Second, do join in for our explained session on Friday 8 p.m. where Abhishek sir will be discussing the biodiversity beyond borders. And then another important announcement is that we are bringing a new limited series specially for Prelims 2022. I will be taking this series and a new video will be out every Friday at 3 p.m. In this series, I will be discussing with you certain mnemonics, mind maps, tricks and tips that can be extremely helpful for you to remember important information for the prelims examination. The first episode of this series will be out tomorrow, that is Friday at 3 p.m. on the BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS YouTube channel. Now going back to the big news today. As we all know, the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan right now is in the middle of facing a no confidence vote in the National Assembly, that is the Parliament of Pakistan, and all the news reports suggest that this might be the end of term for Imran Khan. Now, how does the no confidence vote work in Pakistan? This is very similar to what happens in India. In Pakistan, their parliament is called the National Assembly. Just like in India, for Pakistan's Prime Minister also to rule over the country, his party must have majority in the lower house. Pakistan's lower house has a total of 342 members. That means the majority mark is 172. So a candidate, in order to become the Prime Minister, must get a support of at least 172 members in the lower house of the National Assembly of Pakistan. Now, when the elections were held in 2018, Imran Khan's party got about 150 odd seats, so they were short of the majority mark. However, at that point of time, the Pakistan Army, that plays the most significant role in the country's politics, supported Imran Khan, and they were the one who talked to many other political parties on behalf of Imran Khan and ensured that these small political parties change their sides and actually support Imran Khan's government. And that is why many people said Imran Khan is not the elected Prime Minister of Pakistan. Rather, he is actually the selected Prime Minister of Pakistan, because the Pakistan Army, that is the most powerful organization in Pakistan, they selected Imran Khan to be the Prime Minister. So irrespective of how many seats he would have got in the election, the army would have ensured that he still becomes the Prime Minister, and that is what happened in the election in 2018. Now, as the numbers stand today, Pakistan's Prime Minister has a support of 176 members of parliament, out of which 155 are from his party and other are made up by small coalition partners. However, the opposition party is now led by PML Nawaz, that is Nawaz Sharif's party, then Pakistan People's Party, that is led by the Bhutto family. They are in the opposition. They are now saying that now we have support of most of these small coalition members, and they are claiming support of at least 176 members of the parliament. Now, how did we reach here? From being the starry-eyed boy of the Pakistan Army, how is it that Imran Khan is on the verge of losing the no confidence vote? Now, there are a lot of factors responsible for falling out between Imran Khan and the Pakistan Army, and we will discuss that. However, there are some interesting facts that you need to understand. What is happening in Pakistan, that is the removal of the Prime Minister before the tenure is over, is a very, very common occurrence. So much so that no elected Prime Minister in the history of Pakistan has ever completed a 5-year tenure. So if he goes on to complete the 5-year tenure, in fact, that would be history in the making. But this has never ever happened in Pakistan. So his removal would not really be a surprise considering the history of the country in terms of the elected governments that we have had. The current tenure of the lower house of the Pakistan Parliament goes on till August 2023. Now, what exactly happened between Imran Khan and the army? Now, there are a few factors which are responsible for this falling out. The most important of which involves a person called Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid. Now, the beginning was in 2019 when Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa was given an extension by Prime Minister Imran Khan after his tenure was over. Imran Khan thought that because I'm giving an extension to the army chief, he would now be in favor of me and he would now make sure that my government continues for at least 5 years. This has happened in the past also. It's a common practice that prime ministers in Pakistan give an extension to their army chief after their tenure is over, hoping that they would support the prime ministers, but this has never been successful. In fact, many a times, these are the army chiefs who have been given an extension, which have led to the removal of the prime minister from his post. The next major point of contention between Imran Khan and the Pakistani army was that General Qamar Javed Bajwa, that is the army chief, last year transferred a number of top officials in the army, which included Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid. Now, this Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid was a person who was considered very close to Imran Khan, and Imran Khan, in fact, wanted him to stay at his place because he was a ISI chief, that is the chief of the Pakistani intelligence. Imran Khan wanted him to continue at this post, but the army chief removed him despite opposition from Imran Khan. So much so that Imran Khan did not sign on his transfer order for 3 weeks, but eventually he had to sign on the order of appointing a new ISI chief, that is Lieutenant General Nadeem Anjum, which did not go well with Imran Khan. The army was skeptical that Imran Khan may be getting too close to the ISI chief and they may be planning a collaboration together, which the Pakistani army did not like. Then the Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid, that is the person in question, also went to Afghanistan after the Taliban took over, and his photos were seen all over the media, if you remember, sipping a cup of tea with the Taliban leaders. That also did not go well with the Pakistan army because they did not want him to be the poster child of what was happening in Afghanistan at that point of time. Since then, the relationship between the army and Imran Khan has not been great. In fact, a few weeks back, when this no confidence vote thing started to be discussed in the national news, the Pakistani army said that we are neutral and we will not support either of the two sides. Now, although this was just a common statement made by the army chief, the Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan went one step ahead. In his speech a few days back, Imran Khan said that it is only the animals that can be neutral. Anyone who is a neutral cannot be a human being. Only animals can be neutral. This is for the first time that Imran Khan used such tough language against the Pakistani army and compared them with animals for being neutral in the no confidence proceedings which are going on against the Pakistan Prime Minister right now. Now, is there any ray of hope for Imran Khan? There is one small ray of hope that Imran Khan is looking forward to. That is, there is a presidential reference filed by the government where the government of Imran Khan is seeking disqualification of certain members of parliament of the opposition, saying that they are guilty of corruption and they should be removed by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Now, the idea is if the Pakistan Supreme Court removes these members of parliament, most of whom are from the opposition party, that means that they will not be able to vote in the no confidence part. And because in the no confidence motion they will not be able to vote, Imran Khan hopes to survive the no confidence motion on the basis of this Supreme Court judgment. But that has not happened till now. The Supreme Court of Pakistan till now has not decided anything on that matter. Now, all the indications are that Imran Khan will lose the no confidence vote and he will be out on his way. However, what if there is a chance that he survives the vote? Then what will happen? As I said earlier, no elected prime minister in the history of Pakistan has ever completed his 5-year tenure. So that will be history. That will mean that Imran Khan's position in Pakistan will become extremely powerful. If he survives the no confidence motion, he will complete his 5-year term. However, if he does not survive the no confidence motion, even that will be history. Why? Because in the past, whenever a no confidence motion has been introduced against a Pakistan Prime Minister, it has always failed. So if the no confidence motion passes against Imran Khan, that is, if he loses the vote, even that would be history. So either way, if the vote passes or the vote does not pass, we will see history in the making in Pakistan. It is just a matter of a few days now, and the picture would be clear as to who is ruling over Pakistan now. This is it for today's big news. Thank you so much for watching the video.